Today pregame show live from the Moncrief Club here at Among G. Carter Stadium. I'm your host, Jules Conti, joined by TCU's athletic director, Jeremiah Donati. We are sponsored today by Richards Rainwater. The Frogs advanced to 2-0 after beating the Long Island University Sharks last weekend with a whopping score of 45-0. We start Big 12 play tonight against UCF with the kickoff time of 6:30. But before that, if you missed our Frogs Today show, which airs every Friday morning at 10 a.m., we've had a lot of our TCU athletics get started going this week. So soccer started Big 12 play. Women's volleyball is ranked for the first time ever at 25, and then men's cross country just won its third straight meet. So how does it feel to have the Horned Frogs back in action?
Great. Boy, we're kind of on a roll.
Yeah.
And all of our sports are off and running. Triathlon's also off to a hot start, too. So, yeah, it just feels great. It's great to have the students back. The energy is electric. It's going to be electric here tonight. But, everything's going really well. I'm just really pleased with the competitive trajectory of all of our sports right now.
So since the start of our Big 12 play, TCU has nearly $500 million in donations directly towards TCU athletic facilities. What does that mean for the TCU athletic program as a whole?
It means we've got great donors,
Yeah.
and it means we're well supported. And so this stadium's an example. That $250 million of it is directly associated with this stadium. The first renovation, and the second with the expansion of the east side. So we're well supported. It takes a village. We're not the biggest school. We've got 100,000 living alums. So what does that tell you? It tells you that some of our donors are pulling a lot of weight, and we've made the appropriate investments. Schulmeyer Arena being one of them. The baseball Lupton Stadium, our baseball facility, and there's more coming. Right. So I'm not going to. We'll save that for a future interview. Yeah. But we're very blessed here. We've got outstanding donor support. Fortunately, I've been here for all of that, so I've seen kind of the highs and lows of those projects. And there were some times I didn't know with the east side with COVID if that was going to get out the ground, but anyhow, it did. And there's just that's $500 million in capital projects, but there's even more donor support across campus. So we're very blessed. We've got a great donor base.
Kind of sticking with the community, because we do have such an amazing and supportive community around us here at TCU. This is, like I've said, kickoff of Big 12 games. It's blackout. It's sold out. It's family weekend. So not only do we have the direct community around TCU here, but so many families, myself, I'm not from around here. We're able to be here and we're able to be supporting the team like this. But how important is it to have this support from the community?
Well, we're Fort Worth's team. We are Fort Worth's team. And so it's been fun driving around the last couple of days and seeing everybody wearing black and wearing purple yesterday on Go Purple Friday and fired up for the game, but just excited to be here on campus. And, the energy is palpable. You can walk around. People are buzzing about TCU, not just TCU football, about TCU. And so we're doing our part. We're just one member of the community, but we're a big member. And, it's a great responsibility because Fort Worth's it's an unbelievable community. It's an unbelievable city. And so it's just a great time to be at Fort Worth, and it's never been a better time to be at TCU.
So during the first time out of the first quarter, we are honoring the Sun Bowl players from the 98 team, along with our beloved coach, Dennis Franchione, some of our incredible players. LT is here tonight. I have Basil Mitchell, Schobel, as well as that, we defeated some of those incredible USC players, such as Carson Palmer, Chris Claiborne. What does it mean to TCU to have this opportunity to highlight a moment in the athletic department that kind of flipped things around completely for the football program specifically?
Well, everyone will tell you that was the start of the turnaround. And Coach Fran, who I just met, was awesome. He's sitting right over there. I know you're going to interview him here shortly. Everyone speaks so highly of him, and he's just a wonderful man, a wonderful coach. And he started the revival of TCU football. And then we all know what Coach Patterson did, right? He took it to heights we'd only dreamed of. So it's a big deal to have everyone here. Those names just gave me goosebumps. That was that was before my time, but that was a heck of a game. I remember watching it. I think I was a freshman in college, but I dated myself there. But no, it was a historic achievement, and that was to most people, especially our younger fans, that was the start of the beginning of what we now know as the TCU standard. So big deal to have them all here, and excited to have Coach Fran back.
So we have the honor, actually, next segment, we're able to interview former TCU head coach Dennis Franchione here in a little bit, but we're going to hear a few words from our sponsors first. In the meantime, thank you so much for coming on again this week. We're really excited for the game start. We always appreciate you coming in.
Always my pleasure. Thank you.
We'll see you guys in a few.
What do you see when you look up at the clouds? At Richard's Rainwater, we see the greatest source of pure, delicious water looking right back down at us. We've invented a simple, powerful technology to collect and bottle rainwater. Our process begins with the rain. When clouds become saturated, droplets fall from the sky. Rainfall is a naturally cleansing event. During the first few minutes, the raindrops clean the atmosphere and wash away any dirt or debris from surface areas. At this cleanest point in the rain cycle, we collect the pure raindrops into large storage vessels. Then, we use a simple, yet effective combination of ozone and microfiltration to ensure our rainwater surpasses the highest drinking water standards. We pour the pure, refreshing rainwater into glass bottles and aluminum cans, packaging as infinitely renewable as the water itself. Richard's Rainwater is building a network of collection systems across the country to ensure our rainwater is local everywhere. The purest, best-tasting water comes from the sky. Richard's Rainwater, sip the sky.
Welcome to the Squire Shop.
We are locally owned and operated since 1994.
We specialize in the finest men's clothing that the market has to offer at affordable prices with unbelievable service.
We do custom clothing all the way to more casual, Peter Millar, Johnny O, kind of everything. Well, my dad's the owner, so I've been around retail my whole life. Oh, it's great. I mean, it's the best boss I'll ever have. I know that.
We love our TCU community. They have been so good to us. Come see us today. Go Frogs!
Energy does everything for us. It's all-encompassing.
We're all benefiting and affected from it.
And it is something that we all need to know about.
It is the glue that holds everything together.
TCU is powering what matters, our future.
We don't just talk about what's needed, we focus on results.
The Ralph Lowe Energy Institute is creating a world where energy is affordable, sustainable, and reliable.
Welcome back to the Frogs Today pregame show. Today's segment is brought to you by Snaps Clothing, makers of the only official licensed TCU Pearl Snap shirts. Their new tailgater collection is built for game day with breathable, moisture-wicking fabrics that keep you comfortable while you rep your Frogs in style. Whether you're watching the game from home or tailgating before the sitting in the stands, these shirts have you covered. Head to snapclothing.com to gear up for the season.
The final seconds are ticking off on a great moment for TCU football. Dennis Franchione, his wife Kim, celebrating. Many of the Trojans sprinting immediately off the field without offering congratulations to the Horned Frogs. R.J. Soward the first down the tunnel. We'll be back for the awards ceremony. We'll put the finishing touches on the 65th annual Norwest Sun Bowl from El Paso, Texas. The final score, TCU 28 and USC 19.
We have a very special guest here with us today, former TCU head coach Dennis Franchione. Thank you so much for coming and talking to us today. Welcome back to the Carter. How does it feel to be home?
It feels great. We love this town, and we love TCU, and it's always great to get to come back here and see all the progress that they've made.
So you got here in the season of '98. Can you describe a little bit about the team that you walked into, the program you walked into back then?
Well, they were 1-10, almost 0-11, and but there was a little bit of talent here. I wouldn't say Pat Sullivan left the cupboard bare. But there wasn't much discipline. There wasn't much work ethic. There wasn't a lot of organization or attention to detail. Those were my strengths and organization. And so we started plugging them in, and the players thought they had landed in hell, I think, when I first started with them. But they were so they wanted to win so bad, and they were willing to do whatever we would ask them to do. Now, they grumbled a little bit once in a while, but they always tried to do what we asked them to do.
So, what drew you to Fort Worth?
Well, I got my first college job at Kansas State, and we came down here to visit and watch spring practice when Jim Wacker was here. And I was captured by TCU in Fort Worth when we came down. I just thought it was a beautiful campus and great stadium and a great town, and it just they had just gotten left behind by the Southwest Conference, and so I felt like they'd been funding at a Southwest Conference level, or at least close to it, that going to the WAC, they should be able to compete. And one thing they had, I came from New Mexico where there are 88 high schools that play football. So if you had 2 or 3 prospects a year in the state, that was quite a few. I drew a circle around Fort Worth 100 miles, and there were 118 Division I signees within 100 miles. So I thought, I can recruit some players here.
Yeah. And your first season here led to the program defining Sun Bowl championship game. Can you tell me a little bit about just that year in your life as a whole?
Well, it was an amazing year. We won our first game against Iowa State, lost our second one against OU in a close game we could have won. Then we won 3 or 4 in a row, and we got down to the last game. We were 5-5, and we beat UNLV to be 6-5. Well, back then, 6 wins didn't guarantee you anything. So we put the equipment up, started the off season, kissed the seniors goodbye, and then about midweek, I find out that the Sun Bowl may not fill their slot. So I go to El Paso to beg with the Sun Bowl people. I call them. I probably made 100 phone calls trying to get people to do it. I even called the governor, and I told the Sun Bowl people, I said, you mean I'm going to have to tell the governor of Texas you're going to leave a Texas team out of the Sun Bowl? No.
Absolutely not.
So we begged our way in, and we got into the game. And, our goal wasn't just to go to the Sun Bowl. It was to go to a bowl and win. So we plugged that in immediately, and the players had great practices and great preparation. USC didn't want to be there. The Sun Bowl was beneath them. We were excited to be there. And so we played very well, and the kids bought in tremendously. And the turnaround wouldn't have happened without the players and their attitude and acceptance of change.
Going off of these crazy, incredible stories and moments that you have a new book that's coming out or just came out. We actually have it right here, but it's called Tough Times Never Last. And can you just tell me a little bit about the book and the inspiration for it?
Well, I wanted to do the book so my grandkids would know about my coaching career. And one of my favorite sayings is tough times never last, but tough people do. Robert Schuller coined it, but I used it with my team forever, because it is so fitting. It's in football. You're going to have ups and downs, and you're going to have challenges, just like life. And so I use that saying all the time. And certainly when it came time, TCU Press did the publishing. And so when it came time to pick a title, that was their suggestion. It wasn't mine, but I liked it. And I thought it was very appropriate.
Now, I just have one more question for you tonight. If you were down there in the locker room with these guys right now, getting them ready to go into the first conference game of the season, what would you say to get them motivated and get them ready to run out in the field right now?
Well, I would tell them the most important play in the game is the next play. Play hard. Play 4 quarters. This will be a 4-quarter football game against Central Florida. You're going to have some ups and downs. Tough times never last, but tough people do. Just keep playing, keep swinging, keep playing together, keep believing, and things will work out. And fortunately for me, they worked out a few times.
Yeah, I would say. Thank you so much for coming in here today, Coach. It was an honor talking to you. It's an honor to be able to honor you tonight during the game. If you guys haven't yet, please check out his new book. It's an incredible story along with everything else. I just want to show you guys the cover. Please go check out the book. It's an incredible story. It's an incredible moment in history for TCU football. We actually have an incredible clip as well from the post-game interview of Dennis Franchione after that incredible win and the Sun Bowl of '98. But thank you again, Coach, for coming on today. It was an honor getting to talk to you.
Thank you very much.
You told us the other day at the luncheon that you thought the kids really believed that they were going to come out here and beat up on USC. Talk to me.
Well, we did believe. We may have been the only ones in the nation, but we did believe we could beat them. I don't know if beat up on them is the right way to put it, but we thought we could win the game, and we did. The kids did a great job.
New coach in the program, one win last year. You come in and all of a sudden it's 7. Tell me about the goal that your seniors set for this season.
Well, one of them was to go to a bowl game and win, and that was big, I think, because that was our purpose and our mission from the day where we received this opportunity. And I've had it go the other way where you didn't have the mission to go win, and we did have that.
Coach, last question. You make your living running the football. Did you think you could come out and dominate it the way you did today?
Well, I don't know if dominate was ever in my thought.
Come on, Coach.
But I did think we could run the ball and we could run the option and we could do some things. And we had to do with what got us here.
Coach, congratulations. Enjoy it with these guys.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll be back for the awards ceremony. We'll put the finishing touches on the 65th annual Norwest Sun Bowl from El Paso, Texas. The final score, TCU 28 and USC 19.
We're lucky to have a collective that's as strong and as powerful as the Flying T Club. It's a big deal for us. It is a game changer. You know, I would just encourage any fans out there to support it. Everyone asks me, what's the biggest priority? And I say, NIL is big. Please jump on board, show these student athletes how much they mean to you. The thing about NIL is I think there's a right and a wrong way to do it, and the Flying T Club's do it the right way. Let's keep winning. Join the Flying T Club today.
Energy does everything for us. It's all-encompassing.
We're all benefiting and affected from it.
And it is something that we all need to know about.
It is the glue that holds everything together.
TCU is powering what matters, our future.
We don't just talk about what's needed, we focus on results.
The Ralph Lowe Energy Institute is creating a world where energy is affordable, sustainable, and reliable.
What do you see when you look up at the clouds? At Richard's Rainwater, we see the greatest source of pure, delicious water looking right back down at us. We've invented a simple, powerful technology to collect and bottle rainwater. Our process begins with the rain. When clouds become saturated, droplets fall from the sky. Rainfall is a naturally cleansing event. During the first few minutes, the raindrops clean the atmosphere and wash away any dirt or debris from surface areas. At this cleanest point in the rain cycle, we collect the pure raindrops into large storage vessels. Then, we use a simple, yet effective combination of ozone and microfiltration to ensure our rainwater surpasses the highest drinking water standards. We pour the pure, refreshing rainwater into glass bottles and aluminum cans, packaging as infinitely renewable as the water itself. Richard's Rainwater is building a network of collection systems across the country to ensure our rainwater is local everywhere. The purest, best-tasting water comes from the sky. Richard's Rainwater, sip the sky.
Okay. Welcome back to the pregame show here in the Moncrief Club at Among G. Carter Stadium. I am now here with Rebecca Francione, daughter-in-law and author of this incredible book, Tough Times Never Last. I just wanted to start with, what was kind of the inspiration behind this book?
Well, Dennis has wanted a book written about him for many years. And so when he was diagnosed with cancer again, we kind of started talking every day. I spent 4 months interviewing him. He moved across the street from me. He's battling cancer. And so we just kind of decided to turn it into a book.
Yeah. And what's it like being the daughter-in-law of Dennis Francione, can I ask?
It's been an adventure for sure. This book was an adventure as well.
Speaking of the adventure of collecting the stories from this book, how was that experience of being able to go around and talk to people and collect these incredible stories?
It was amazing. I interviewed over 100 players, coaches, and a lot of them cried. I mean, there were so many good stories. I actually have over 900 pages.
Wow.
918 pages of stories I collected. So one of the hardest things with the book was, deciding what stories to go in. So I would interview someone and then I'd send Dennis the notes and then he would kind of highlight, what he wanted in the book.
Yeah. And I heard that you're very busy on the other hand, outside. Can you tell me a little bit about what keeps you so busy?
Well, besides my 3 kids, I'm actually currently in production for a home renovation show for a major cable network, and I can't give too many other details. Flipping 10 houses in 18 weeks.
Wow. Talking about keeping busy.
Yes.
Keep an eye out for that, guys, because that's going to be something really cool that we get to highlight later on. But do you have any favorite stories or memories from the process of writing this book?
Oh my gosh, there's too many to choose from. I mean, I learned so much about Dennis, and I just learned, it was funny because I would interview some of these players, and he heard stories he never heard before because he had such great coaching staffs. And so sometimes they shielded him from things. And so there were a lot of stories, that were just incredible.
Is there anything in specific that you can think of, just building off of what you just said, where it was a moment where you got a story and you turned back to Dennis to show him for approval and see what he was thinking about it, and he was like, wait, huh?
Yeah.
Like, is there any story that sticks out to you in specific?
Well, there was a story involving J.W. Wilson in a casino after a bowl game in Mobile, Alabama. So I'm staying out all night, but yes.
And of course, head coach does not know about that
No.
moment when it's happening, but it's a funny story for afterwards.
It is for sure.
Well, if you guys haven't already, I know I was talking about this a little bit before, but here is the book, and it is such a special moment and such a special just book and experience, and something that you guys should definitely check out. But thank you so much for coming on to the show today.
Thank you.
We really appreciate having you guys here. We're excited for the honoring to start and to happen. But until then, when we come back, we're going to have a little bit more about offensive and defensive expectations for our Horned Frogs going into Big 12 play tonight. But we're going to hear a few words from our sponsors first.
Thank you.
Energy does everything for us. It's all-encompassing.
We're all benefiting and affected from it.
And it is something that we all need to know about.
It is the glue that holds everything together.
TCU is powering what matters, our future.
We don't just talk about what's needed, we focus on results.
The Ralph Lowe Energy Institute is creating a world where energy is affordable, sustainable, and reliable.
What do you see when you look up at the clouds? At Richard's Rainwater, we see the greatest source of pure, delicious water looking right back down at us. We've invented a simple, powerful technology to collect and bottle rainwater. Our process begins with the rain. When clouds become saturated, droplets fall from the sky. Rainfall is a naturally cleansing event. During the first few minutes, the raindrops clean the atmosphere and wash away any dirt or debris from surface areas. At this cleanest point in the rain cycle, we collect the pure raindrops into large storage vessels. Then, we use a simple, yet effective combination of ozone and microfiltration to ensure our rainwater surpasses the highest drinking water standards. We pour the pure, refreshing rainwater into glass bottles and aluminum cans, packaging as infinitely renewable as the water itself. Richard's Rainwater is building a network of collection systems across the country to ensure our rainwater is local everywhere. The purest, best-tasting water comes from the sky. Richard's Rainwater, sip the sky.
Welcome to the Squire Shop.
We are locally owned and operated since 1994.
We specialize in the finest men's clothing that the market has to offer at affordable prices with unbelievable service.
We do custom clothing all the way to more casual, Peter Millar, Johnny O, kind of everything. Well, my dad's the owner, so I've been around retail my whole life. Oh, it's great. I mean, it's the best boss I'll ever have. I know that.
We love our TCU community. They have been so good to us. Come see us today. Go Frogs!
Welcome back to the pregame show hosted by Frogs today. We're at the Amon G. Carter Stadium. We just spoke to former head coach Dennis Francione, along with his daughter-in-law and author of his new book, Tough Times Never Last. Tough Times Never Last, which is written by Rebecca Francione. The Horned Frogs are 2-0 for the first time since 2020, the year that they went to the national championship game. During the first quarter here, it's our kickoff of Big 12 play. We're going to be honoring the 98 Sun Bowl players along with our former head coach. But for now, the Horned Frogs were on fire last week as they advanced to 2-0 after playing the Long Island University Sharks. The defense is a huge part of that, and we're going to see a little bit about some of their highlights that made that game so special.
Looking at the pass either to McAllister or Nowell on the last drive. 3rd and 5, Stanzani returns, pitches it, and big hit. Cooper McDonald, the San Diego State transfer, just lit up Choquette. Loss of 2. And Corey Nichols with the catch on 1st down for LIU.
Obenizer on a great break there and wrap up.
Love in motion. Stanzani slings it. Tip drill, interception for Nnamdi Obiizor. And Obiizor past the 25. Field position though. Howell at quarterback. And he can't let the slingshot go. He is sacked by Zachary Chapman, the redshirt freshman, with his first sack. 45-0. Sonny Dykes' team steamrolled.
Under new defensive coordinator Andy Avalos, the Horned Frogs had their first shutout since 2017. On top of that, they held LIU to only 127 rushing yards offensively, which is the fewest allowed by TCU since the 2012 home opener versus Grambling State, where they held them to 80 yards. On top of that, the 413 yards that TCU defense has held their past 2 teams to these last 2 games marks its lowest total through 2 games since 2017 and the 5th among all seasons. Some highlight players that I wanted to point out was Johnny Hodges, who leads the team right now with 16 tackles after just 2 games, Nana Osafo-Mensah, who had a sack last week, and Nnamdi Obiizor, had an interception, who is now tied for leading interceptions for this season. The defense is on fire, but we'll talk a little bit about the offense as well.
Johnson as Hoover under center. Cook is the fullback, and he's in standing up for the touchdown. Cam Cook salted the game away last week against Stanford.
He just smiled.
He wouldn't reveal. Hoover, end zone, touchdown. It's Earl again. Johnson, the running back. Stick it in his belly, and Dominique Johnson crashes in for the touchdown. First down from the 12, and Cam Cook breaks a tackle. Cook to the pylon for the touchdown. And now 1st and goal for the Frogs. Cook around the end. And Cam Cook lunges for his 3rd touchdown tonight. Third and 9, it's the 11th play of the drive for TCU. Hoover rifles it. That's caught. That's a touchdown for Chase Curtis.
Quarterback Josh Hoover is continuing to lead this team to success. His 14 consecutive completions tied a TCU single-game record set by Jeff Ballard in 2006. On top of that, he also tied for 2nd overall straight completions at TCU as a whole. He scored 2 touchdowns himself last game, as well as on pace to break the TCU season record for completion percentage if he stays on this track. Moving on, Cam Cook had 3 touchdowns last week, making it 4 in the last 6 quarters. Savion Williams led the team with 69 receptions and 15 passing yards after a trick play to JoJo Earl, which then led to the next play having JoJo Earl score yet another touchdown for the TCU Horned Frogs. The team takes on the 2-0 UCF Knights tonight with a 6:30 kickoff for the first conference game of the season. We'll be right back to talk about the Fox kickoff that is happening right outside the Among G. Carter Stadium right now.
What do you see when you look up at the clouds? At Richard's Rainwater, we see the greatest source of pure, delicious water looking right back down at us. We've invented a simple, powerful technology to collect and bottle rainwater. Our process begins with the rain. When clouds become saturated, droplets fall from the sky. Rainfall is a naturally cleansing event. During the first few minutes, The raindrops clean the atmosphere and wash away any dirt or debris from surface areas. At this cleanest point in the rain cycle, we collect the pure raindrops into large storage vessels. Then, we use a simple, yet effective combination of ozone and microfiltration to ensure our rainwater surpasses the highest drinking water standards. We pour the pure, refreshing rainwater into glass bottles and aluminum cans, packaging as infinitely renewable as the water itself. Richards Rainwater is building a network of collection systems across the country to ensure our rainwater is local everywhere. The purest, best-tasting water comes from the sky. Richards Rainwater, sip the sky.
Welcome to the Squire Shop.
We are locally owned and operated since 1994.
We specialize in the finest men's clothing that the market has to offer at affordable prices with unbelievable service.
We do custom clothing all the way to more casual, Peter Millar, Johnny O, kind of everything. Well, my dad's the owner, so I've been around retail my whole life. Oh, it's great. I mean, it's the best boss I'll ever have. I know that.
We love our TCU community. They have been so good to us. Come see us today. Go Frogs!
Energy does everything for us. It's all-encompassing.
We're all benefiting and affected from it.
And it is something that we all need to know about.
It is the glue that holds everything together.
TCU is powering what matters, our future.
We don't just talk about what's needed, we focus on results.
The Ralph Lowe Energy Institute is creating a world where energy is affordable, sustainable, and reliable.
We are just under an hour until kickoff here, and the stadium is buzzing. Once again, we are going into the first Big 12 conference game for the TCU Horned Frogs tonight. The kickoff is 6:30. We are honoring the Sun Bowl team of '98 along with former head coach Dennis Franchione, who we got to speak to a little bit earlier. But until then, we will be right back here after the game for a post-game show where we will speak to current TCU head coach Sonny Dykes along with some of our players after the game versus UCF tonight. We have our State of the Frog Coaches Show with head coach Sonny Dykes that airs every Tuesday at 7 p.m., along with our Frogs Today show, which airs every Friday morning at 10 a.m. and covers all of our TCU athletics. Until then, I'm your host, Jules